If your American mother gives birth to you anywhere, you have U.S. citizenship?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or else, as long as you're not naturalized, you're a natural-born citizen. I have started the broadcast, so we are on YouTube and the internet.
Okay, we're recording now.
No, it's public. I'm going to see if I can fix the security settings later.
It's easy.
But
Okay, that sounds like the right order of operations. You're going to fix the security later?
The thing is, I think that Google Plus wants more people on their network, and so this is how they're doing it. They don't give you the option. Or maybe they do.
Okay, I'd like to concentrate on the first 156 pages of the book.
Is that just that part? You found that part to be the most meaningful?
That was profound. Yeah, moved me so deeply I can't get past it. I need your help.
Try this. Why do you chat so that?
Why can't I get in?
Casey!
Why can't I get in?
What is it saying now? Is it still, do you need to like
It's saying the same damn thing. I've downloaded and reinstalled everything.
do you want to restart your computer?
Sammy?
Casey, what's happening over there?
You chaperone?
Casey will be broadcasting in with us from Seattle. They're known for their technology there.
It's over looking now.
Sydney, thank you for all of your hard work and determination.
I'm so, I hope I go to jail so that I can hire you as a lawyer. Screw you.
That's a great idea. I am a transactional attorney. I'm perfect for the
Okay, have a
case.
beer now.
Cheers!
Cheers. I'm even rude online.
Here. Cheers.
Peroni.
Whatever was in Sam's fridge. All right, guys. Are you ready? So lots of people read the book, including us.
Okay.
And Ashley, because she's finished with her workout now.
By the way, my Google Calendar has a little line through all of the previous attempts, which is cracking my shit up.
They should make it easier, and then we would use this more often. And Ashley's back. Ashley, are you ready to join our conversation?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So we read Never Let Me Go, and I feel like we had a lot to say about this a few weeks ago, but now maybe we've forgotten. But Greer, it should be fresh in your mind. So request that we only talk about the first 150 pages.
I am happy to listen to a reminder. Well, we got to start at the beginning, right? Okay, I took some notes.
Maybe that's what slowed you down.
Oh, okay. No, just keep them coming. That's fine. We can have those throughout. All right, here's one. I'm going to start with
Complaints?
one complaint. So,
Okay.
actually, no. I'm going to start with a compliment. Grammatically speaking, I thought this book was a nice departure from like the rampant errors occurring elsewhere in modern literature. Like it seemed to me to be pretty correct for the most part.
So, like, for instance, what bothered you? What book have you read recently that didn't?
Every modern book that I've read, all the really good ones.
Have you all 50 Shades of Grey series, or just there's Ashley making duck face in the corner? No.
I mean, of course, the ones that come to mind are like Hunger Games, Twilight, all of that crap. That's what I'm thinking about. And so it's
good. It's track.
I'm sorry. I'll
Thank
retract.
Okay, so that brings me to a question. Well, okay, we'll get to that. But so grammatically, like
Grammatically, I appreciate what the author did here. I had a little quibble with the author spells the past tense of lean and spelled with a T, the British way sometimes, and then the American way at other times. Decide which form of past tense you want to use. I have examples cited if you'd like to know.
that's what you circled when he switched from British to American.
Say that again. What?
So this is what they teach you in law school. This is what you got out of your fiction.
Inaccuracies of the world.
They are not staying
You meant
consistent.
Gregory.
Yeah, I've paid big money for this mind. Okay? Compare page 148 to page 150. The author can't decide how he wants to make his verbs past tense. It's a problem for me.
Okay. Maybe that was an editor. Maybe the
Casey's
editor.
just laughing. I take issue with that. Be consistent. But other than that, he did a good job.
At this point. Okay, Ashley, did you like the book?
I did. I enjoyed it very much.
You didn't think it was depressing?
A little, but
Not compared to the other things you read?
right. Okay. I mean, not like a Holocaust movie marathon or anything.
I mean, everybody did die in the book.
I don't appreciate
That was their
So,
job.
spoiler. That was their job. Oh, go on. That was their job. So it was this is a DC analysis. They did a good job.
I don't appreciate Sydney comparing slugging this book because they're made for the sake of me and my students.
Yeah. Well, let's talk
I don't
about that.
appreciate that comparison.
So,
That I'm sending my children up to die.
okay, so we have a lot to unpack here. This is a good introduction.
I mean, the fact that they got to go to Hellsham and
And
live the good
Well,
life that they
I
did,
don't
when
like
they
my
were
body.
really bred to be heartless, I think was a heartwarming feature.
Give me swearing language. Okay,
keep it off of.
this is going well. Yeah, there's no strong language on YouTube. Okay, so
This is the same expression I have on my face when I'm hanging out with all of you guys, so it's not unusual. I'm just
Okay.
remembering.
Here's some questions at
the bottom back of the book.
So my house game night, can we bring the computer with us?
Oh, okay.
Can we talk about my gender question? I thought it was a good one, actually. I can.
Because I wanted, yeah, okay. Here, ask your question.
Love story.
I wanted to know whether you guys think gender played a significant role in this book, and I was asking because I don't think it did. I found the characters to be very androgynous. Now, that might be just, a projection of my own feeling of flatness about life in the world right now. But I didn't think that whether somebody was a boy or a girl mattered a whole hell of a lot in this story.
No,
I mean, Ruth was possible.
Ruth was bossy like herself.
Like, in a very stereotypical role.
Oh, you thought it was stereotypical?
I thought Ruth was a stereotypical girl.
Stereotypical bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. You can just say it.
If you were supposed to.
No.
Did you like Ruth?
I found Ruth very familiar.
Yes, it's like Linus.
As I read the underlying portions, but all the underlying portions are me, but they're not. You asshole.
I liked Ruth.
I'm not at all like
I hated her.
Sure.
Who would you identify with?
I don't think you have to identify with it. I mean, clearly.
Who would
everyone
I be if we're identifying with people?
Oh, do we have to identify with someone?
No.
I identify with, like, that lesbian gym teacher who was telling all the kids the truth. What was that?
Not all men are good. Not
Like Teacher Lucy, who's like, you're all just organ farms. Oh shit, sorry. Like that's. I related to that one.
Yeah. That was, yeah. I could see you as her. So,
I liked the book.
gender is interesting. I don't
Did Casey just say I liked the book?
I was gonna elaborate on that, but then Sydney had another thought, so I decided to stop.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not a very
Done.
good monitor. Okay, so,
Wait, can we go back to that belly?
we can. We're going to make Casey talk, and then that'll do it if I stop talking, which I'm not doing. I just keep going.
Wait, you want him? You want this belly?
No, we want Sydney's belly.
Oh, I'm sorry, of course. That was the better one.
Casey, you only gave this book 3 stars on Goodreads.
I did. When I stopped reading it, I had it at 4 stars, and when I started thinking of what to say for this conversation, I moved it down to 3 stars because it bothered me. The more I thought about it, the more it bothered me. Like, that it was 2 books. Like they should have gotten into the reason all this was going on a lot earlier, or at least they should have gotten into it a lot earlier. Like I think they did that better in the movie. I think they paced the movie a lot better than the book. Background story that they went into so much detail on the personal relationships in the end didn't bring much to the book. And so the more I thought about how it was ultimately constructed, the less I liked reading it, but the less I thought it needed to be edited differently.
Interesting.
Well, go into Casey.
We just want to see the dog face.
I disagree with that.
Oh, Ashley disagrees. Hold on.
I don't know if it's because I mean maybe I knew going into it what the book was about. But I don't know. I don't know if I did or not. I never saw the movie, and I thought it was intentionally like I thought they wanted you to figure out what was. Well, I suppose not they. The author wanted you to figure out the premise before it was actually spelled out.
Yeah, no, I think they did do that. I agree. I think that was the point. I just think ultimately looking back on the entire thing, I think they didn't do it as successfully as he could have. Like I think they spent too much time on the personal relationships and didn't bring in the importance of those personal relationships towards the end, and didn't put enough plug-in into the fucked upness. They didn't do enough foreshadowing of the fucked upness at the beginning, but in the end they didn't tie it together with why that was actually important to spend so much time on the relationships. Does that make sense?
Now, you're at the beginning of the book.
As a person who is still feeling very struck by the first half of the book exclusively, I would agree that there's a flatness to me, that, as I mentioned before, but yeah, there seems to be some sort. Were you saying, Casey, that there's like a missing glue, like there's some sort of failure, and so maybe it becomes an intentional failure once the second half is revealed, but there's some link missing between these characters that are supposed to be linked. There's a dimension missing for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think what they're trying to do, what she's trying to do, or he is, and he does it. He definitely does it, but I don't think he does it as effectively knowing what in the end what it was supposed to be. And I don't think I think it's just supposed to show, the first part is just supposed to show the humanity of these kids. Like they're just a bunch of kids and they have the same like cattiness or the same kind of trivial relationships that any kids do. But it was kind of, I don't know, I don't think the way he did it was, I liked it at the time, and then when I reflected on the whole book as a whole, I think it could have been a little bit edited differently.
So do you think, like, at the end, they go and what's her name? The one teacher, Emily, yeah, Miss Emily, where they go to the gallery, and then she kind of has this attitude towards them like they're not human. Do you think maybe if they didn't have all of that stuff at the beginning, the reader might feel that way about them, or?
No.
Okay. Well,
I'm really interested in knowing more about what her life was like when she actually became a donor, because her 2 friends were gone, and she was not very close to anyone. So I want to know how many donations she made it through with being so isolated within herself. Because that made her great.
But she wanted isolation at that point.
I understand.
She was tired from all of
But I'm saying, how many donations did she make it through?
Well, I don't know.
That's what
I guess it depends on what they took.
But there wasn't anybody there to tell her story.
I know. That's what I want to know.
So, Greer, where you are in the book?
Yes.
Do you know what a donation is?
Are they still in high school?
I mean, I've has figured out what
She's like feeding us the bird. Do you have a charger, Sam?
Not for
okay. Wait, but here's my question. You said
I'm just going to be here. It's fine.
For your anything that's Mac?
charger.
But Did anybody see it my way, which was that instead of it being depressing, it's actually the opposite? I mean, the fact that so their lives are shorter, but they got to live human lives versus, they didn't really play out the fact that, I mean, they tell you this.
But then they talk about how the future donors are going to go back to just being slaves.
I mean, either way, they only get to live until they're like 30, and then they get all of their organs taken out.
I understand, but they're bred for their organs, so the fact that it's almost like, I mean, they got to live a love story, they got to be treated like...
So you think that's awful.
I don't find the plot that depressing. I find the bleakness of the writing style depressing, and that absence of something. You know, like even the scenes about sexual passion are so dispassionate. I think somebody said a second ago that, you know, the humanity of the children, that was what was trying to be portrayed. These kids seem robotic to me. They don't seem very human at all. There's a spark missing from them.
I think that part is because of the author. Like, so if you read Remains of the Day, he's very British. And so I don't know if that's, like, because they're clones, or that could just be his personality coming through, which is very, like, repressed and...
But they could be intentional because they weren't nurtured. I mean, they don't talk about what happened when they were babies and stuff, but presumably, like, they sort of look at the guardians as teachers or whatever in the beginning of the book, but in reality, they weren't nurtured. These people thought of them as... when you see Miss Emily, which was something...
They said something about how they comfort them.
So guys, if we disappear, it's because we have 5 minutes left on my battery. So we'll call
Greg's
you back.
phone? Greg's computer?
No, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good point. I think the kids weren't nurtured and they weren't infused with a sense of their own great potential in life, right? Like, so what gets our parents' narcissism all riled up when they have kids? It's like, oh, you can be the great thing that I never was in your great ongoing life. But these kids were never infused with that sense of their own wonderful destiny.
Oh, that's nice.
Right. Yeah. You just said that better than I did.
Yeah.
But that was what I was trying to say.
Can you read my grad paper for me?
I want to replace my parents. I want new parents because I didn't get that either.
Casey, I've been raising you for like 10 years. You just didn't know. I do it very subtly.
Okay, thank you. Once my first donation.
Actually, I want Casey to be my new mom.
Once my first donation is given, I'll know. I'll know whether it took.
The movie, though, Casey, I think you were, like, I felt like the movie was more, I don't know, something.
I don't know how I do it. Just do it.
Like,
yeah.
This was the perfect book to read the book and watch the movie because they took it from two very different angles. They told the same story, whereas the book focused heavily on the relationships up front, and then it was kind of like, oh wow, and this is what's really going on. And then you reflect back on those relations. You reflect back. The book was mostly, or the movie was almost, you knew the entire plot from pretty much the whole time, and so they didn't do as much character development. It was that was kind of cool to compare the two. They took it very differently.
I will share the movie with you. Okay, great.
There's Greg's computer.
Hey, Greg. Can we use your computer, or can I invite you to the Hangout? I'm going to do that quickly because I only have 2 minutes left. I don't know.
Okay. So what do you think the metaphor specifically about organ donation is? Like, not thinking about it in terms of the, like, post-apocalyptic scheme. I mean, do you guys think the author is saying about something about all of us being born to give parts of ourselves away until we die?
No.
No?
You think no? What do you think? I'm still a little disturbed that you think that it's a happy story.
I don't
because
think
they got to be before they took all the organs.
Saying that if you look at it from a different perspective, though, they were people who were bred to just
I invited you.
be parts, and
I'm still under filter.
instead they're
trying one of these things all the time.
Refresh.
instead they're they were actually given a chance that anyone else bred for the parts wasn't given. So for these particular characters, they ended up with almost human lives.
Yeah, of all of the donors in all of the world, this was the greatest of the situation they could be. They were given a chance at knowing what childhood was supposed to be like.
But
Like they had access to the arts or they were encouraged to the arts and.
I'm still concerned about overpopulation of the world if we just keep doing organ donations.
Why don't they harvest them all at once? It's kind of cruel to make them go through a lot of surgeries. Just kill them and take it all at once.
I was wondering, why did they do?
Refrigeration is expensive.
Is that what?
So it's on as needed. Okay.
That's what I thought it was. Well, and once, do you guys watch Gotham?
No.
Gossip, that show with Blake Lively?
No. It's a Batman show.
Gotham, like Gotham City.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gotham. No, I don't. Mm-mm.
Well, whatever. So there's this thing where they harvest human beings. Willow Smith. Not Willow Smith. Will Smith's wife. Jada Pinkett Smith. She's in this like cave or whatever where they harvest people's bodies and they just go 1, 2, 5, 7, 8. You're needed, and then they take their eyeballs and stuff.
Yeah, I kind of in this book that was a clone for every human. Like in the beginning, I thought that there was a clone for every human, and so they were harvested for the specific. I think that would have made more sense to be part. You know, like my clone out there. I now need a new heart, so I go to that clone to get it. Why not just harvest them? I agree. Why not just harvest them for parts? Why not just harvest them?
I guess logistically it might be overkill. Everybody doesn't need a whole entire clone.
Well,
I'm just gonna need a liver myself, a liver and a lung. That's it.
What they really need to focus on is growing one person with 7 livers, and then they really don't need the rest of anything.
No fucking.
Amen. Those will be the Irish clones.
Those will be the seniors not pictured group.
Oh, did you get that text I sent you? That old school
I am
senior.
so bad at responding when I'm traveling because I'm drunk and I never know. But yes.
No, don't worry.
Just like they talk about how for some people it's just 1 donation or 2 days.
What the shit?
I would think that it would matter what you're donating.
We can hear them, so that's what it matters.
Oh, does Sam have her? Do you want to use Sam's or?
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. Greg is a throbbing, dilating stick figure in my screen right now.
He can't get the camera to work.
I have no idea what is wrong with my camera.
So you're just going to hear swearing coming from his.
Yeah, a lot of swearing.
Let's just keep talking about this book. Greg, it's not a big deal.
I have a lot more I can say about the book. Let me look at my other notes.
Okay. I did notice all the things you wondered.
Okay, can I explain why I brought up the gender thing?
You? I didn't know you were going to borrow my book. No, but you were thinking about me when you were underlining them.
Which things did I underline and think of you? Okay, guys, on this point in the conversation, I'd like to just focus on the things I underlined and thought of Ashley.
Here, they paint a great picture of me for you.
Is this going to be a theme of every book club book?
No, that's not it.
Come here, Pete.
Okay, well, I'm going to get another beer. Hold on.